just relay some facts,
whether they're new or antique.
So just sit back and relax.
It's time for What's Up This Week. Hi everyone, and welcome to What's Up This Week, your weekly dose of facts and trivia from University Branch Library. As many of you are aware, June 5th marks the anniversary of when Houston, Texas became incorporated. But in what year did that take place? What year did Houston, Texas become incorporated? Was it A, 1891, B, 1837, C, 1918, or D, 1791? If you answered B, then you are very correct. And if our show had a bigger budget, you might even receive a little prize, but unfortunately, that is not the situation here. Anyhow, Houston's history stretches back much further than its incorporation. Years before its founding, the area was populated by the Karankawa Indians. The next major settlement was Harrisburg in 1826, founded by John Richardson Harris, but it was largely wiped out in April 1936 by the Mexican general Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna, as he went after Sam Houston and the Texas Army. Soon Santa Anna was captured outside Houston and Texas was liberated. Then, in August of that same year, two land speculators from New York, who were also brothers, stepped in. Augustus C. Allen and John K. Allen bought a space near the destroyed Harrisburg and proclaimed it Houston. The area sat around 50 miles from the Gulf of Mexico. The town was named for the Republic of Texas's first president, Sam Houston. Of course, initially, Houston's land didn't even cover 9 square miles. In fact, the city circa 1836 included only a part of what is now downtown. Houston was officially incorporated on June 5, 1837, which meant the town would have elected officials and possess certain legal protections. Temporarily, Houston was Texas's state capital, too. The first mayor was James S. Holman. Eventually, there were sizable changes and Austin became the state's capital while Texas became a part of the United States. The city has grown exponentially in area and population. As of this video, Houston covers over 630 square miles. Much of it is in Harris County, but its borders cross into Fort Bend and Montgomery counties. The majority of Houston rests on flat land. Buffalo Bayou, a stream that flows from west to east, goes past the northern section of downtown and turns into the Houston Ship Channel farther east. At the western end of this ship channel is the Turn Basin, where large ships can, you guessed it people, turn around. The population of Houston in 1900 was 44,633 souls. As of 2020, the whole metropolitan area of Houston was at over 6 million. So that's why the traffic has gotten so horrendous in recent decades. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Enough to make Boston, Massachusetts a little jealous. I digress. Anyhow, many industries thrive throughout the land, but 4 major ones are energy, aeronautics, astronautics, and healthcare. Rich in people, culture, and history, Houston, Texas is one heck of a town. To find out more, check out any of these library items. Okay, Kim, what do you have for the people this week?
Hello! This week we're celebrating the birth of entertainer, activist, and spy, Josephine Baker. Josephine Baker was a real neat lady, born on June 3, 1906, in St. Louis, Missouri. She was born into a poor family and struggled through much of her childhood, even living on the streets for a time. But at the age of 15, she moved to New York City and began performing in chorus lines. She eventually became known as the highest paid chorus girl in vaudeville. In 1926, at the age of 19, Baker moved to Paris, which became her home for the rest of her life. She was one of the first Black Americans to move to Paris, and that is where she became truly famous. Josephine had a pet cheetah named Chiquita, who often joined her on the stage wearing a diamond collar. She quickly became the most successful American entertainer in France, befriending Ernest Hemingway and Picasso, among others. During World War II, Josephine began spying for the French resistance. Being a performer, she was in a good position to move around Europe freely and rub shoulders with important people. She received honors for her efforts. After the war, Baker went back to performing. She returned to America in 1951 to perform in Miami and was appalled by the racial discrimination she faced in her home country. She refused to perform for segregated clubs and was an early supporter of the civil rights movement. She was the only official female speaker at the 1963 March on Washington, and upon Martin Luther King Jr.'s assassination, she was approached to take his place as the leader of the movement. Baker declined because she knew it would put her in danger, and she still had young children. Baker started adopting children from different ethnicities and religions during the civil rights movement to prove that people from different backgrounds could live as brothers and sisters. She often referred to her family as the Rainbow Tribe. She was literally Angelina Jolie's inspiration for creating such a family. Josephine Baker was truly a fascinating woman who lived ahead of the times. It's a shame she isn't as recognized in America as she was in France. She died peacefully in her bed at the age of 68, surrounded by rave reviews for her last performance. To learn more about Josephine Baker, we have books available that go into greater detail on her incredible life. We also have several books about other extraordinary women who similarly made their mark on the world. Okay, Megan, what weird thing do you have for us this week?
Hi there! This week's weird thing is that June 3rd is World Bicycle Day. According to the United Nations, this day recognizes the uniqueness, longevity, and versatility of the bicycle. Ah, the bicycle. Man's first single-track mode of transportation that utilizes two wheels attached to a frame. Learning to ride a bike is a rite of passage in most people's childhoods. Growing up, I simply loved my blue Huffy bike with a basket on it. But where did bikes come from, and how did they evolve to the present-day models? The earliest verified bicycles were invented by Karl von Drais, a civil servant in Germany around the year 1817. His contraption was the first two-wheeler mechanized vehicle, but it had no pedals. The rider had to use their feet pushing off the ground to propel the bike forward. It was sometimes referred to as a draisine, a velocipede, or a dandy horse. The first pedal-operated bicycle didn't come about until decades later. And of course, for a short time, the penny farthing bicycle was a thing. The 1880s and 1890s were considered the golden age of the bicycle. This is the era when people started designing bikes that were safer to ride, and they were aptly named safety bicycles. Now, bicycles could be viewed as a means of regular transport, suitable for men, women, and children, rather than just a dangerous toy for daring young men. This was a big deal for women as it gave them greater independence from men. Long, heavy skirts and tight bodices went out of fashion in favor of less restrictive clothing, like bloomers, so that women could ride their bikes with ease. Bicycles quickly became employed for many uses, for commuting to and from work, and to be used by workers like police, messenger and delivery services, mail carriers, and even the military. Later in the 20th century, bicycles gained popularity as a means of recreation, exercise, and sport, and they're still very popular today. To celebrate World Bicycle Day, the best thing you can do is go for a ride on your bike. Stick to the neighborhood streets or get out in nature and visit some of the bike trails that we have in Fort Bend County. There are a lot. To learn even more about the history of bicycles, bicycle maintenance and repair, or the joy of riding, this is just a small sample of books we have available for checkout. Happy World Bicycle Day, everyone. Be sure to tune in again next week for more facts and trivia from University Branch Library.